The only Borderlands game I've ever played was number 1 on the Xbox 360, 16 years ago, when I was in the 6th grade. And you know what? I dropped it. I think I played for an hour or two and then said, fuck this. I'm going back to Fable Lost Chapters and screaming profanities at other children while I noob-tube in COD lobbies. The reason I dropped Borderlands was because of this guy. I hated him. And I'm going to get chastised for saying this, but I'm pretty sure my hatred for Claptrap came from the fact that I didn't like SpongeBob growing up. Like, at all. Every time I heard his laugh echo from our living room TV, if I had the choice, the channel would change, and I leaned more towards shows like Zoids, Ben 10, and American Dragon. So my hatred for the cackling sponge led my 12-year-old brain to say, this stupid-ass metal SpongeBob out of my game. Don't like him in my cartoons, don't like him in my game. This came out, and if not for my brother enjoying it, I would have traded it into GameStop for something else. And despite reading that it got a 9.25 in Game Informer, pinnacle of toilet entertainment back then, my Borderlands journey ended for the better part of 16 years. It wasn't until about a month ago, after hearing how horribly Borderlands 3 was received, that my interest was piqued. I don't know the exact reason, but I think a mix of morbid curiosity and the fact that Borderlands 4 is coming out soon made me want to see what all the hubbub was about. Was the third entry in this series really such a disaster? Or was the opinion of the people blown out of proportion? That's what I was here to figure out. With the introductions complete, it's time to start the game. We find ourselves on Pandora with the bus and driver from the first game. Borderlands 3 begins 7 years after its much better received predecessor, and we follow the adventure through the eyes of 4 new Vault Hunters. These being Amara, the Siren, FL4K, the Beastmaster, Mose, the Gunner, who I chose, and Zane, the Operative. I only had the base edition of the game, so instead of the 4 skill trees available, if you own the Designer's Cut DLC, I only had the 3, which was fine. I pretty much stuck to one specific tree and just boosted my gun damage throughout the campaign. We meet with Claptrap, oh fuck off, and he takes us through a tutorial segment which already began to annoy me a bit because just constantly talks. It makes this entire scenario take 4 times as long as it should. I hate this. The intro sequence also introduces the main antagonist group, the Children of the Vault. Across the entirety of the story, we meet them at every step. And despite the fact that the Children of the Vault are always present, I will say one thing I liked about this game was enemy diversity. None of them were particularly complex or challenging to figure out, with special mechanics, but the visual variety at least kept me from feeling like I was facing endless droves of monotonous bullet sponges. Let's take Tinks, for example. They can range from normal Tink to Tink Tank, mutated Tink, Hag Rider Tink, and even something like Anointed Tink, which is quite large compared to other specimens. I haven't listed all variants of them either, and a good handful will act slightly different or be equipped with different weapons. I could keep going and list off tons of enemies, and I mean, I really could, the list goes on and on. But the point I'm getting at here is that the enemy variety is nice, and honestly something I thought Gearbox did a good job on. You can go look at a game like Destiny 2, which I've sunk hundreds of hours into, and chronicle the amount of enemies and variants within that IP spanning 11 years. And the variety does not even come close to what is present in Borderlands 3. So before I continue, I wanted to highlight something I thought was done really well. After our spat with the Children of the Vault, Claptrap signals for Lilith to arrive, and she employs us to keep moving against them, as they have a vault map and we need it. In this pursuit, we get to another portion of Borderlands 3 that I thought was a strong suit: the bosses. A myriad of unique designs and sweet arenas with little mechanics sprinkled in here and there. First boss we run into is called Mouthpiece, and he was a pretty cool encounter. I got mad Scott Pilgrim vibes, and it really helped set the tone for the over-the-top interactions that comprise this game. The arena is fairly large, but made of speakers that can cause environmental damage in rhythm with the theme that plays in the background. Along with Mouthpiece having a shield that bounces like the volume levels on an equalizer. It was definitely a spectacle, and felt pretty fun to fight him. This excitement from defeating Mouthpiece, though, is slammed into the ground. This is Tyreen, and she goes on to explain what she did with the group of bandits we were tracking, and instead of explaining her powers, she hand waves and says, "Oh, it's just something I do." Also, side note, what the fuck is this? It looks so weird and out of place, but someone at Gearbox was like, nah, ship it. And this isn't a rare occurrence either. You see multiple of these real-life variants of both Lilith and Athenas, and even though I appreciate them trying something different, I feel like someone should have known. It just felt super odd and unnecessary. Back to the twins for now, though. Tyreen and Troy Calypso, some of the most horrendously written characters I've ever had the displeasure of listening to over the course of the 12 and a half hours it took me to complete the campaign. From what I heard, many people share a similar sentiment as I do, thanks to a catchphrase of Tyreen.
Hey, superfan!
Shut up, bitch. Oh my god.
I was hoping they would be minor or stuck to Pandora as our first planet and we would overcome them and go on to greater foes, but that's not the case. After recovering the vault map and having Tanis repower it, we attempt to leave, but the twins have a different idea, stopping Lilith's escape and proceeding to stream themselves, stealing her powers. They say this whole thing about Troy being a parasite on Tyreen and some other stuff, but it really just fell on deaf ears because I found them insufferable immediately. Anyways, the twins leave without killing Lilith because Troy gets hurt and Tyreen decides to let her goons rip Lilith apart. With the twins gone, we can save Lilith and move to Sanctuary. The spaceship acts as our hub world, hopping between planets, always in search of the next vault. I was focused on the story, so I spent as little time here as possible because I just wanted to keep moving forward. After a short welcome sequence familiarizing us with the vendors on the ship, we moved to Prometheia. First impressions here gave me a futuristic, cyberpunk-esque aesthetic, but the reason we've come here is to enter the vault before the twins can, because the vault we are looking for lies beneath these streets. Our approach isn't so easy, because not only do we have to deal with the children of the vault, but also with Malawan, thanks to the twins having partnered with them. Prometheia is in a state of war between the two corporations, Malawan, led by Katagawa Jr., and Atlas, led by Reese Strongford. This was a cool idea and a decent area to play through, but yet again, brought down by the nothing burger annoying dialogue. One such forgettable character is Lorelei. Besides being introduced and helping us stall the initial attack from Malawan, the only significant piece of this character I remember is their incapability to go 5 seconds without saying something pointless. And luckily for us, after speaking with Reese for the first time, he points us in the direction of Athenas for the first piece of Prometheia's vault key. And Lorelei fades into non-existence pretty much.
Vault Hunter, come up to Sanctuary.
By this time I had gotten some good guns and was feeling my stride in the general gameplay loop. But once again, it doesn't take too long before we're saddled with a noisy quit machine, incapable of not speaking for longer than 10 seconds. And if Ava constantly blabbering on with 90% of her dialogue being filler words wasn't enough, we get to have a guy named Trant scream in our ears during the few reprieves we get. Athenas was an alright location. It's kind of a retro, futurist, Asian-inspired area. I thought it was aesthetically pleasing, but unfortunately a very small map, and other than getting the key piece to Prometheia's vault, we never returned here. After obtaining that key piece, Maya and Ava joined the Crimson Raiders. Hooray! And, good for us. We returned to Sanctuary, where our next stop before returning to Prometheia is a place called Malawan Modularis. You see, Katagawa has a giant space laser powered by the second key piece. And to get that piece, and the last one, for Prometheia's vault from Reese, we have to destroy the laser for him and help him stop Katagawa and Malawan. This space laser section was sick, and if it wasn't for Reese constantly screaming in my ear about losing his favorite bagel stand or frozen yogurt location, it would have hands down been my favorite map of the game. Also, felt a pretty enjoyable step up in difficulty for the encounters, and had a lot of fun with the low gravity fights. Seeing the laser getting ready to launch was sick, but like, can we have one serious moment in this game, please? Like, please? Counting down in bananas? Are you fucking kidding me? Just let something be suspenseful or cool without completely ruining it with cringe-ass middle school library Yu-Gi-Oh player dialogue. And I can say that, by the way, because I spent middle school playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Bakugan, so I was in the trenches. Let's move forward. At the end of this area, we take down Katagawa's big servitor eyeball thing, and then destroy the laser. To complete this arc, we return to Alice HQ on Prometheia and kill Katagawa Jr., resolving the hostile takeover situation, and getting our last vault key piece. Dude, the vault. With all the pieces in hand, it's time to enter the vault.
The rampage. So, one of the things that I've actually really enjoyed about this game is the bosses. The bosses are actually pretty interesting. And, like, have unique, you know, arenas that you fight them in. I'm fucking dead already. Holy shit.
And defeat the Guardian inside. Little did we know, taking out the Vault Guardian is exactly what the twins want, as they show up to devour the Guardian and gain its power.
What's up, bitches? Hey, look what they left for us.
Oh my god, they're so cool.
Unfortunately for us, though, Ava just exists, and due to her incapability to shut her mouth and leave, Maya dies. From the research I did, Ava is almost unanimously hated because she is the personification of an annoying teenager, incapable of listening, and always thinking she knows best. Unfortunately for us, the twins leave quickly without, you know, and we return to Sanctuary, one member short.
Hurry up.
All in all, Prometheia was a decent location, but I really feel like it fell behind due to the character interactions. Almost all dialogue felt pointless and like a filler statement, with maybe 10% of the interactions actually delivering information that helped forward my understanding of the world or situation. The world design for it was decent, and I enjoyed doing a bit of exploration around the area. Reese, Lorelei, and Zero, though, just didn't leave any impact on me. And if you asked me a year from now, I probably wouldn't even remember who they are. As Prometheia disappears into the cosmos, we find out our next destination is a swamp planet called Eden 6. The next vault lies here, and we have to try cracking in and destroying the Guardian before Troy and Tyreen can use it to gain more power. Eden 6 was my favorite location. The vibrant swamp aesthetic kept the areas from feeling stale, and it was much more enjoyable to putz through. To enter the vault, we are contracted by Wainwright Jacobs, the CEO of Jacobs Firearms, to rescue his lover, Alistair Hammerlock. When we find Hammerlock, he tells us his crazy sister, Aurelia, has sided with the twins in hope that she will gain the Jacobs Corporation for the vault key. We say, "Nuh-uh, you ain't gonna do that." Get the 3 pieces and annihilate her ass, setting our path for the vault. The final boss here was awesome. The dynamic stage and need to hide as the angle of the arena changed were a lot of fun. I really feel like the gunplay and bossing is where this game shines. The general loop is very enjoyable and the variability felt good. It really says something about Borderlands 3 when almost everyone you ask tells you to download a mod that skips all the dialogue, and it instantly becomes like 10 times better. I just really wish that whoever made the decisions when it came to the writing was reined in a bit, because if Borderlands 3 respected itself and its audience more, I think there'd be a gem here. With the Grave Warden down, we see that Tannis was secretly a siren as well, and she absorbs the Warden's power before the twins can arrive. But expectedly, they arrive just in time, and enraged that Tannis took their meal, they kidnap her, bring her to Pandora where they plan her execution.
Now, Ty, do it. Tennis! Ah, crap. And she...
Aw, crap. I have a bone to pick here, though. How many times are we going to let the twins do whatever the fuck they want and just stand there like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do? Like, it feels like the player's existence is forgotten or overlooked at so many points in the story. Why do we never intervene in a cutscene? I just killed the fucking Grave Ward. Why would I just stand there and do nothing when Troy and Tyreen are kidnapping Tannis? It's ridiculous, and annoyed me so much. I felt like I was sitting in the backseat listening to someone's headcanon fanfic that neglects the existence of the main character. I sincerely hope Borderlands 4 resolves this massive issue because this is crazy to me. With how important and influential we are, why not have us try to do something sooner? With that rant over, let's set foot once again on the sandy streets of Pandora to rescue Athenas. We need to get on this Mad Max moving city called Carnivora, and yeah, this fight sucks. The cars in the game are ass, and I didn't enjoy really any time I had to use them. Which is a shame, because all of the overworlds other than Athenas and Necrotafeo are designed for traversal with cars. They die super quick and don't deal a ton of damage, so you get blasted by the NPC cars and then get stuck walking around trying to find a station where you can spawn another vehicle in. This loop would be okay if the world was interesting to explore, but I feel like in an attempt to create relevance for the vehicles, most of the maps in the game were artificially enlarged, so traversal with vehicles was required if you didn't want to take way longer to get from point A to B. This would be alright if the overworld engaged you, but when walking in Borderlands 3 from one POI to the next, there's almost nothing, and it's just dead air, occasionally broken up by a rogue enemy or two. To double down on my disenjoyment of vehicles in Borderlands 3, worlds that have a higher level of verticality like Eden 6 are just flat out annoying to deal with in a vehicle. And I found myself walking to most locations because my dumb car would blow up in a split second anyways. After our 99-cent store Twisted Metal fight, we can rescue Athenas, return to Lilith, and find out that the twins are trying to open the Great Vault, so they can drain the energy from its monster, which would ascend them to godhood. In an attempt to stop this, we assault the Children of the Vault's headquarters, finding out we were too late. Seemingly always one step behind, we follow Troy to the moon of Elpis and kill him.
Been waiting for this, Vault Thief!
But despite our efforts, the Great Vault starts opening, and Tyreen absorbs Troy's energy before she escapes once again. This is where another
That's
aspect of the
insane.
story comes in that seriously fell flat for me. I'm going to summarize it for you. Typhon de Leon contacts us, the same guy that is built up throughout the lore of Borderlands to be the ultimate vault hunter, like the top of the top, and he tells us that the Great Vault holds a super powerful monster called the Destroyer that can eat the entire universe, and that the Great Vault was secretly a prison to contain it. In an attempt to work with us, he tells us where the secret homeworld of the Iridians is, a place called Necrotafeo. We meet him and gather all the previous vault keys we have to power the device that the Iridians used to trap this creature in the first place. Mind you, he says that they sacrificed their entire civilization to capture this thing, and luckily for us, they left the machine behind in case it ever escaped. During all this, Tyreen reveals that Typhon is actually her and Troy's father, and Typhon reinforces this as true. He also disables the machine that can trap the Destroyer and wounds Typhon before escaping again and returning to Pandora, wanting to ascend to godhood. Why the fuck is the coolest part of this entire game just slapped into the last 2 hours of the story? You know how cool it would have been to have this be hyped up and talked about in the previous 10 hours of gameplay? Hearing more about the Destroyer, or sprinkling in ideas that Pandora has a much more substantial meaning in the universe than we assumed? Also, wouldn't it have been awesome to actually track down Necrotafeo? This elusive hidden planet that can hold the secrets to all of Iridian history the entire game's lore was built around? The final act of Borderlands 3 felt like a slap to my face. I had to slog through all the shit and garbage, listening to countless annoying assholes so I could find out that the entire premise for a wonderful story was just smacked onto the ass end of this garbage truck of a game like a My Border Collie is an A+ student bumper sticker. Seriously, whoever was in charge of the writing for this game needs to be studied and put on a Watch Mojo top 10 biggest flops list. Finding out Tyreen and Troy are the children of Typhon de Leon didn't even matter, because they're written so poorly that you hate them instantly, and no matter what is said, the damage has been done, and instead of leading you to these ideas, making it a big aha moment, they just go, wham, check this out, champ. Bet you didn't think this would happen. It was insane to me, because everything is here to make an interesting, fun story, but instead, we got this. Alright. Back on Pandora for the final time, we track down Tyreen and beat her when she is at her strongest after absorbing the Destroyer. The fight was cool and fun to do, but the entire time I was just thinking to myself, this game is a joke. So many opportunities to intervene and stop her before, but now we beat her when she's on the level of a god? What was stopping us from putting an end to her and Troy when they were like 100 times weaker? It's just a complete oversight from the writing. And, you know, I was like actually happy to see the credits roll by the time the game was over. After all my gripes and complaints, I want to say at its core, Borderlands 3 has everything you need to make a fun game. The general gameplay loop is fun. You can have many varying builds across each character that are unique and distinct with differing playstyles according to them. There's a sprawling event-filled endgame and a nigh endless amount of guns to farm for. The incapability to take itself seriously and the lack of respect for the player's ears and minds is where it falls incredibly flat.
Think she's doing?
Oh. No, is she gonna sacrifice herself to quote the Great Vault? I don't care. It's a PNG. That was a PNG. That was literally.
I had a decent time playing through Borderlands 3 and am cautiously optimistic to hear what Borderlands 4 is like. Who knows? I might even play it as well. If you'd like me to play the other Borderlands games and make videos for them, please tell me in the comments, because from what I understand, it's only up from here. As it is for now though, thank you for sharing this experience with me. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe, as there is more to come. And if you disliked the video, I'd love to hear what you didn't enjoy. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you again, this time in the streets of Kamurocho.
She's gone.
Not entirely. She's lighting the way.
She's just a girl and she's on fire. Hotter than a fantasy. Lonely like a high